I got to thinking about it, and I saw this. And I saw that Michigan and Alabama are playing. I'm like, okay, well, I know, and we'll talk about this in just a minute. I know who I'm leaning for that one. But when I saw Washington and Texas, I thought to myself, if there's one team that could be a kryptonite for Texas, it might be Washington. Let me tell you why. Texas has one glaring weakness. Now, I've even heard from a lot of people at the LSU beat that, oh, well, Texas has a really good secondary. Guys, they are 95th in the country in passing yards allowed. They have not been good in their defensive backfield. I know that they have talented guys like Derek Williams and others. Some of you Louisiana people will remember. But it is a very big weakness for them this year. But the same thing can be said about Washington. They're 120th in the country in passing yards allowed, but they did just get two of the premier safeties and premier safety and cornerback back. Doesn't really matter. They're not going to change too hell of a lot from 120th. I think that this could be a little bit of a shootout. Look, you got Michael Penix. Obviously, we know who that is. Him being a Heisman finalist. Texas has Quinn Ewers. I just see this one being close than maybe some people think. Now, I have been picking, if you watch the Ruffino and Joe show, I have been picking against Washington all year. And I want to do it. Like, I think that I want to do it. I think that I want Texas, or think that Texas is going to be able to control both lines of scrimmage with guys like Anthony Hill on the defense. You got Banks along the offensive line. I just feel that Texas can do that. I don't think that they have a problem in their front seven. I think they have a really good front seven. Their rush defense, with that big defensive line with Sweat as well, they're one of the best teams in the country at defending and stopping the run. Now, Dylan Johnson, the running back for Washington over the last 4 or 5 weeks, has been very, very good. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of rush lanes and a lot of yardage or even hidden yardage against this Texas team, who's only allowing 81 yards on the ground per game the entire year. Not necessarily, though, what Washington wants to come into New Orleans and do. They get McMillan back, one of their big-time wide receivers, along with Adunze. You got Polk, who is a 1,000-yard receiver, 60 catches, 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. I don't know if Texas is going to be able to guard all those weapons. They haven't been able to guard anybody all year. They've been bad along their defensive backfield. I could really see either team winning. If Washington is going to win, it's going to be because, look, Texas's front seven couldn't get to Penix quickly enough. I mean, it'd be like the bowl game last year. And Penix was able to throw the ball all over the place, and eventually they got the running game going. I think the same for Texas. Their main running back is out. They do have some bigger guys in the backfield like Baxter and Blue. They're going to take a lot of the handoffs. But the bottom line is, for me, I just think that Penix and Washington can come in here and throw it all over the place. I think that this could be a 46 or 45, 42, 45, 41 type of game, either which way, because I think their points are going to come at a very big premium. Give me the over massively. Can it be a low-scoring game? Maybe. Maybe Washington, with a month to prepare defensively, can be better. Maybe Texas stops the running game. That front seven is able to get after, Michael Penix. But, man, Alabama, who was really bad offensively in the beginning of the year, scored 24 points. And this ain't that, yo. You have not seen an offense like this all year long. Quite honestly, the best team that you played at the time that you played them clearly was Oklahoma. Now, I know that Quinn Ewers was out. Malik Murphy, who just into the portal, came in, did some decent things. Look, Texas is going to bully them up front. I would fully expect Texas to play a little keep away. It'd be smart early to play a little bit of keep away. But I don't know how you can when Washington is 120th in passing yards allowed. It's got to be the most interesting game for me in the semis. I'm obviously going to love watching a big physical game and against Alabama and Michigan, but I think this one's more intriguing to me. I think that this is a bad matchup for both teams. Really. Weaknesses versus strengths for both sides. Both sides. So we'll see. One thing that I also added this to about Texas, they have been exceptional on third down defensively. They are not allowing anything, not even through the air. You try to run it on them on third down, they're going to pop you in the mouth. They have been good on third down defending anything that is thrown their way. They're second in the country in third down defense. Here's the problem, though. They're 67th in the country on third down offensively. Now, some of that can be skewed because Quinn Ewers wasn't there, right, for a couple of games this year, and it wasn't good at all. So they're not that bad at 67th, but Washington can't stop anybody. They're 81st in the country in third down defense. I think something's going to give there. Normally, I would lean defensively of things getting better. Okay, if there's going to be a unit that gets better, normally I lean a little bit defensively, especially with a team like Washington who has just continuously found ways to win. I'm not making my pick yet. I am leaning Texas, but something is telling me not to, because the number one passing offense in the country comes into New Orleans that, quite honestly, New Orleans hasn't seen a passing game like that since 2019 LSU went into that Sugar Bowl. The three weapons of Polk, McMillan, and Odunze are going to, I guarantee you, is keeping Sarkisian up at night, and I don't know how it couldn't, because those three weapons can get after him. I do, and have said all year, though, I think Washington is the most fake team in the playoff. Would not, if there's a splattering on our hands, it's going to be Texas laying the splattering down. I just don't see that happening.